Hey, hey, welcome to the We Have the Power podcast with your boy Haywire from Changing Methods hosting the show. And coming on today, I want to talk about some things that is really kind of bothering me that's going on in our country right now. We had Charlie Kirk, a Christian man, regardless of how you feel about him personally, how you agree or disagree with his political views, a Christian man was gunned down live on television in front of his wife and children and several hundreds of other people because of his freedom of speech. And the sad thing about it is that people are actually celebrating this man's assassination. I really try my best to stay quiet on this, but I mean, some things you just gotta say something because it's all in your face. I mean, they spoon feed you all this stuff on social media, uh, certain news outlets, and it's okay that these people are celebrating, right? Someone who got assassinated here in America. We need to be condemning violence of all sorts. No one should be having to worry about watching television in 2025 of all times and see a public speaker get assassinated in front of everybody watching on television. The people that were at the college that he was speaking at in Utah, I believe, in front of his family, his loved ones were there, and this man was assassinated because of his freedom of speech. Doesn't that kind of sound like our freedom of speech is being controlled in some ways? I mean, you have the freedom of speech. I mean, we as adults should know the difference between bullying, hate speech, and opinion. Some of these people are just emotionally out of control. A lot of y'all are out of control, and I think y'all are out of control for celebrating someone's demise just because you don't agree with them. This isn't what America is supposed to be about. I mean, you have the right to your own opinion. You don't have to like the person. You don't have to agree with everything or anything that they say. When you have to sit back and see people that claim to be good people, right? Celebrate and laugh or be happy with someone being assassinated. Like, that's just beyond words to me. This stuff has to stop. I mean, we're being spoon fed lies and propaganda on these media outlets. People's freedom of speech are getting banned while other people can sit back and say whatever they want as long as you are affiliated or agree with their political belief system. If you disagree with certain political belief systems, you are alienated, you are labeled, you are disrespected, people stop being your friend. Families have fallen apart over this, and it's crazy. Like, it's crazy that you guys are allowing yourselves to be filled with such demonic energy, okay? That you would find it amusing to see someone die on live television. And I'm not talking about a movie, I'm not talking about a play, I'm talking about reality. When I was younger, I definitely was traumatized when I had to watch the footage of John F. Kennedy getting shot and killed on television, right? Like, I will never forget the feeling, and I will never forget the visuals that I saw that scared the hell out of me. Like, there's nothing like that. And even though I grew up in the inner city, so seeing someone get shot or stabbed or beaten or things like that, unfortunately, it's almost like a normalcy. You know, I mean, unfortunately, you kind of grow numb to it because you hear it all the time. The only time it really actually impacts a person is when it's someone they know, someone close to them, family member, something like that. But in the inner city, you hear that all the time. You hear it on a daily basis. And just like I said on other videos, it's really sad to me that certain crimes or certain actions that are taken toward people almost get a free pass, right? Like, no one can tell me that's watching this video that they don't know this man. And even if you never heard of him before, you definitely know about the assassination, and you've definitely been on Instagram, on TikTok, which I'm not on, but Facebook, where people who claim to be good people who claim that they're so for justice and so for equal rights and so pro humanity, are celebrating someone getting killed on live TV, y'all. That's crazy to me. Where's the outrage? Like, when this man got assassinated, you didn't see his followers start burning down things. They didn't start acting out violently toward anyone. They were busy mourning. And it's sad that I've even stumbled across a video clip or two on YouTube where these people had the audacity to go to one of his vigils and start a fight there, man. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, can you imagine someone you love, regardless of what their political beliefs are, someone you love, right, get killed, right, publicly, wherever, and then people who don't agree with him or her show up at a vigil and start a protest or a riot or a panic or a fight or a brawl? Like, it's too much. It's too much. And I'm a boldly say, because I value my freedom of speech just like I value yours, I'm going to say it. I think it takes a sick individual to celebrate someone getting murdered. In the hood, even though you know somebody is wretched, right? Even though you know somebody has done heinous things, you don't celebrate the person getting offed. That's just beyond me. You don't say, oh, well, there's another hooligan off the street or anything like that. You still mourn and say, wow, another human being has been killed in our city. It's crazy, man. So I wanted to get on here and touch on that. And there's some other things going on that really, really made me want to speak out about the disgusting violence that's going on in our country. And some of these things are minimized over things that should not be maximized. Like a person having personal feelings about something and someone disagrees with them and they get all irate and angry, you know, or if someone says something that they probably shouldn't have, or they were just having their freedom of speech, and regardless if you agree with it or not, they have it just like you have yours. People are getting hurt out here. And beyond that, people are getting hurt in general because, unfortunately, crime isn't looked at the same as it was back in the day, right? Like, people can say whatever they want about the justice system, about the police system. Hey, I grew up in a single parent home. I got a brother. We grew up in a single parent home in the hood, right? We're black just like anybody else, and it can be for anybody, but I'm just speaking from my environment. I can't speak for your environment. Our single parent mother didn't raise us to be fearful of law enforcement. Our mother didn't teach us to hate law enforcement. If anything, our mother did all she could to make sure that we were more or less complying with the flow of life, to make sure that we were doing things of a more upright nature, that we don't have to end up in situations where we're brawling, or in a situation where we wind up imprisoned or hurting somebody, killing somebody, robbing somebody. Like, these are things that happen in the inner city. And I really get sick and tired of hearing these politicians get on their platforms who live in, upper class, rich neighborhoods that don't necessarily get a taste of the drama and trauma, right, that we witness on a daily basis in the inner city. In Dallas, a staff worker, Chandra Nagamalaya, right, was beheaded at work in broad daylight in front of his family. The man was attacked, and news reports say that it was over a dispute about a washing machine at work. He and a coworker, the attacker, was cleaning a room with a coworker. I guess the Chandra was the manager, and he was wanting to let, and I'm not even gonna say his name because I'm not about to uplift criminals like that. He wanted the attacker to be told not to use the washing machine, and he had one of his coworkers translate for him. Now, if he had to translate that, that is a clear indication that this person is of another ethnicity, okay? As far as I can tell, aren't they both people of color? But okay. So that triggered him, and it caused him to go and get a machete and chop at the man and hack away until he chopped his head off, and then had the audacity, and this is going on in front of this man's family in broad daylight, mind you, at work. He took the man's head, threw it in the parking lot, and then had the audacity to kick it. Like, people aren't afraid of repercussions to their actions. They're not even being necessarily held accountable. In Charlotte, Irina Zarutska was brutally stabbed to death while she was minding her own business riding the light rail home from work. We already know why that's not being maximized. This woman was of another ethnicity that's not even, I think she might have been Ukrainian or something like that. I did go over it, and then I had to sit here and figure out how I was going to articulate this conversation so that people wouldn't be sitting back who have nothing else to do with their lives but find reasons to be triggered or offended by something that you're saying, having an opinion, or even stating facts about something, and they just disagree or want to disagree, or they just want to be heard. Some people are emotional hypochondriacs, if that's a thing, where they sit around and they thrive on drama. They thrive on it. It's like an adrenaline rush. They need something to be upset, angry, hurt about. If they can't find this on a daily basis, would be some unhappy people. And you can tell who they are because they always seem to surface on social media. They'll sit here and have a mouthful of negative things to say about someone else. And then soon as it's time for them to be accountable for their actions, it's, oh, I was triggered. Oh, I'm traumatized. I was traumatized. Look here. I don't know, and I'm not comparing the things that I went through in life to what somebody else went through in life. However, I will say this. Just because some of us don't get on social media and wear our traumas like a badge of honor to pull sympathy or trauma bonding from other individuals doesn't mean we haven't endured our share of suffering. There may be a time where I might want to get on the podcast with my brother and find a wholesome way to talk about some of the things that we dealt with growing up, just having a mother who was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. That whole issue right there is a world of trauma. Yet, thank God I was strong enough to not allow those things to manifest a dark aura about me that I will never be able to move on. I will never be able to overcome because of those situations. And the reason being is because I definitely made the choice to not allow those things to manifest an energy about me where I am codependent on those traumas in order to validate myself or to protect me from having to be accountable for my actions or mistakes or wrongdoings or shortcomings. The list goes on. But y'all need to stop. Like, I think the problem started with giving people the emotional edge to bully you with their trauma or disassociations that they have within themselves. But that's neither here or there. That's just me going on. But we definitely need to think about the company that we keep, that you would hear them actually celebrate someone being murdered. I've even heard people be upset that the current president that is in office didn't get offed. Like, some of these people celebrated the fact that he almost got offed and were hoping that he would have been. That is sick. Like, I just really can't wrap my hands around where people are going to, the direction that people are going in today's society, where it's totally acceptable to sit back and hear people say, yeah, that's cool that they got killed, or darn, wish it would have been the other person instead. If you are around these individuals, although they do have their freedom of speech, I don't know what we would characterize that behavior as, but it's very displeasing. If you are someone that I know and you have displayed this type of energy, then yeah, it is what it is. I don't think that that's appropriate, and I don't think that people should be excited that someone gets assassinated. And for the life of me, where are all the Christians? Like, where is the outrage from the Christians to say, we as Christians mourn a Christian public speaker that not only had his political views on platforms, but also his religious views on platforms. A lot of y'all agree with some of a lot of the things, if not all the things, that this man said and did and accomplished in his short-lived 31-year life on this earth. A lot of y'all are too afraid to speak up. A lot of y'all are too afraid because y'all are people pleasers, that you would rather sit there and let people disrespect you or your beliefs by barking loudly about their feelings and emotions with no regard of how you feel about, well, what if I like the dude and I have to hear you or them bash and celebrate that this man was killed? Like, it's people I don't like out here, and I don't wish death on them, man. I mean, sometimes you may even think in your own mindset, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't let that happen to me, that somebody said this or did that. But you don't ever, if you are a good person, for real, you don't ever wish death on somebody. And as a Christian, who is the author of confusion? Who is the entity that would be satisfied with humans killing other humans? It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to actually go in the comments and give an answer. You don't have to go in the comments and give your opinion on it. Just saying. Just saying. We need to check ourselves, man. We need to find more humility in our society, where if people are going to run around and talk about how they love everybody, hold them accountable to doing that, to some form. I mean, hold yourself accountable. Don't sit here and be lukewarm. Be hot or cold, man. Like, don't sit here and say, oh yeah, I love everybody and this and that and the other, and then in that same breath say, yeah, glad they killed that sucker because I didn't agree with him. This is crazy. Like, do you think anybody in your family deserves to be killed because of their views on anything? I don't think so. I hope no one in my family gets killed over their opinion, their beliefs, their political views. Hell, I don't want them to get robbed. I don't want them to be hated on by people where they get injured or assaulted or any of that. And I don't want any of my enemies to be killed or assaulted or anything like that. I do believe in the spirit of reciprocity. Some of y'all call it karma, where you get back what you put out, right? However, in the instance of Mr. Kirk, I listened to a lot of his messages, and especially the last couple of days after the assassination. And I didn't find anything that he was saying offensive. Like, I didn't feel like he was bullying anybody. I saw where he got bullied quite a bit, but I didn't see him bully anybody. I didn't see him saying anything that was hateful to people where they feel like they would want him to be dead. Like, this is crazy. Y'all need to check y'all spirit, man, and say, who am I serving if I'm celebrating a life being taken on earth? Who am I serving? Am I serving life, or am I serving death? And not even death, because death has its place. Murder. Let's do that one. I hope we can all come to our senses at some point. I mean, all you can do as an individual is stay prayed up, man. Like, stay prayed up. Pray for your family. Put on your spiritual armor when you go out. I mean, and it doesn't take a ritual. You know, I'm not a traditional religious person, so I don't participate in all the old traditional cantations, and I don't want to say witchcraft, but rituals that people have to do to make themselves feel more comfortable with whatever belief or faith that needs to be established in such incantations or rituals. Everybody's free to do it if that's what you need to make yourself feel stronger or to build up your faith, is to have something tangible or to do rituals to confirm or establish your faith or belief. Do that. I'm not against it. I'm just saying I'm not. And for it myself in my walk. And anybody else that could be listening to this could feel the same way, and I do want to touch and agree with those people, not disagreeing with anyone else. Yeah, but I just want to make sure that Chandra Nagamalaya and Irina Zarutska and Charlie Kirk's names aren't forgotten. It's lots of names that we can go through, but those are just the ones I was speaking on in this episode, and so that's the only reason why I just named those. While we are out here trying to be all politically charged about things and judging people not off their character but off their political beliefs, let's pause and say, you know what? It's people out there who need attention. It's people out there who need prayer. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on a daily basis hating someone when I can take that energy and be loving to my family, my friends, to my neighbors, and anyone who's willing to accept love and give that reciprocity of love, right? Don't just sit up and receive it. You got to do some loving yourself, and it starts with you. Thank you for joining me for another episode of We Have the Power. I have more episodes coming up. I just had to step back from it just for a minute because I kind of got a lot going on with work, with family, with still working on the completion of our second project for Changing Methods, getting more costumes and upgrade for our Gone Ballistic comedy show. I've also still been able to find time to be a friend to people in my inner circle and also talk to them to receive that fellowship or to vent or to just talk, and get some things off your chest so that you can move forward and not have all this stuff in your mind or unnecessary stress in the back of your mind that is still haunting you, whether you realize it or not, and it can affect your decision making and your actions if you let it overrule your judgment. Emotions know no logic. I don't know how many people have heard that saying before. I grew up in a family that came to Kansas City from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So, like, my elders would often say things like that. And they would definitely say emotions know no logic. This is something that we need to be able to teach one another so that people don't maximize their feelings and emotions and minimize reality, where they don't maximize their feelings about something and minimize logic and facts. This is the direction where certain political parties have driven and indoctrinated a lot of people to be. A lot of it is starting in the colleges nowadays. People are telling you how to feel. And a lot of these youngsters are people-pleasing youngsters. So they're definitely going to want to run with the in crowd and say, well, even though I don't feel that way, or well, even though that's not logical, or well, even though that don't make sense, I got to do it because everybody else is doing it because I don't want to be an outcast. When I was growing up, I was an outcast. And I found comfort in being around other people who were outcasts. We band together. We had fun. We learned how to appreciate our uniqueness. And our parents all taught us that sticks and stones break your bones. Words shouldn't hurt you. Like when we were coming up in the 90s, it was more or less You can say what you want long as you don't put your hands on me. That's the survival tactic of a strong person developing in a hostile system or environment. We definitely didn't have, oh my God, they said something I didn't like. They made me uncomfortable by saying something that I didn't like. And I'm not talking about being bullied or being discriminated against. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who hide behind, woe is me, I didn't like what you said, so I'm going to use all these words and all these buzzwords to get people to rally behind me. Give me a break. Give me a break. My heart goes out to people who actually are suffering, who want to improve, who want to see progress in our environment, who want to see people unite together and cut out all this foolishness. Oh yeah, I also want to say, as a black man of color, or whatever you want to call me, I am so tired of seeing the culture that I grew up in celebrate ignorance. Like when I go on social media, do you know how many times I see a young black man or black woman acting a plumb fool? And these videos go viral, y'all. Like so many people are laughing. So many people think that it's cute. That people are jumping on somebody's child in school. Somebody's getting into a brawl at Walmart. Somebody's kid, this going a 20-year-old kid that probably got kids that's 10 years younger than she is, tearing up a Dollar General. Like, this is crazy, man. Y'all need to be checked. And it's my opinion. And it might even be fact. But you know why our system is screwed up? Do you know why our children and Gen Z is screwed up? Because you suckers stopped people from whooping their children. Y'all stop people from disciplining their children. And then you turn around and maximize on it for political gain. Some of us aren't brainwashed. Some of us didn't allow ourselves to be indoctrinated by your propaganda. Some of us are free thinkers. Some of us depend on the Lord and not the system. And a lot of us aren't liked. As you can see, Mr. Kurt, he wasn't liked for that very reason. Love him or hate him, that was a human being that didn't deserve to die. And for the life of me, how can you feel that Kurt deserved to die, but y'all didn't feel that George Floyd? How can y'all feel that Mr. Kurt deserved to die, but y'all didn't feel that Mr. Floyd deserved to die? Right? You see how hypocritical? You see how brainwashed you are? That you would sit there and burn down half the country over a person who has been in prison twice for armed criminal robbery. And I'm pretty sure that both times he was arrested for armed criminal robbery, that he didn't go to the suburbs to do his robbing. He did it right in his own backyard in the inner city, y'all. Let's just be real. I'm not saying that he deserved to die at all, so please don't twist my words. However, I'm saying that how is it that you can be emotionally charged to burn down half the city and protest for weeks and months on end about someone who was a criminal, but You know, some people don't even read books fully. You know, they'll read a couple of pages and, well, got all I needed to know. We even do that with the Bible. They read the Bible and say, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. Well, close the book. They don't understand that just because you're anointed or you're a prophet and the word said not to do you harm, that doesn't give you the right to go out and cause harm to people and then hide behind scripture to protect yourself. Because they out there too. And they brainwash and indoctrinate people every day. But seriously, think about that. One man wasn't a criminal. And if he was, it hasn't come out yet and it hasn't been exposed. However, I can say I don't believe he was in prison for armed criminal robbery. And y'all celebrating him dying. Oh, that's right. Because it's not about the individual or the victim. It's about the political narrative. Oh, silly me. Why didn't I think about that? No, I'm just playing. I already knew that. But I was just saying this to, voice my opinion on it. I mean, if it strikes up controversy, wonderful. Let this video go viral. Y'all can go in the comments and say what y'all want. I got thick skin. Not only am I a spiritual person, I'm also a comedian. So I have thick skin. You can say all the things you want to say. And if I'm replying to it, I'm probably replying to it because I know that if I'm commenting back to your foolishness, it's only creating controversy, which is going to make that video pop, baby. All the comments that are on there, whether they're negative or positive, is going to make that video pop, baby. So come at me. Say what you want in the comments. It's all good. Again, thanks for joining me for another episode of We Have the Power. I hope that there's always something enlightening that someone can get from watching the podcast, which is filmed right here. I mean, you may not call it a podcast. I call it a podcast, because I'm getting on here. I mean, got my little microphone just because it ain't on camera. And I'm sitting up here voicing my opinion and keeping people in the know and hopefully educating and talk about some pretty good things that someone can digest mentally and hopefully have a changed method about their views on life. Well, y'all have safe, wonderful, and prosperous travels. I pray for your safety, your peace, your respect, your love. I pray that each and every person that's hearing the sound of my voice, if they're going through something, that they're touched, healed, and delivered, set free from the chains that are binding them physically and mentally, letting them drop off some sandbags so that they can rise and evolve into a closer being that we were designed to be. Y'all have a fantastic day, a fabulous day, a wonderful, fantastic week. May you walk into your blessings each and every day. May you walk in respect. May you give respect as much as you demand it. And always remember, we have the power. Oh, yeah.